Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band. Is Boogeyman
Greetings,
band.
my fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone. I hope everyone's doing well. This is going to be another horror movie review as part of my Halloween series that I'm doing for 2021. Very similar to what I did in 2020. I try to go against the grain and talk about horror movies that a lot of people aren't talking about right now. I did a tribute to Child's Play 3, and today I'm going to talk about a movie that I watched earlier this year. I picked up the Blu-ray during the spring of this year and just revisited it again because it was one that I really enjoyed when I first caught it on Shudder. And the name of the movie is The Mortuary Collection. This stars Clancy Brown, who I'm a huge fan of, and it was one that I kind of just I had heard something about, I believe, at the beginning of this year, and I've had a subscription to Shudder since 2016, so I just thought, I'd check it out. And I was really surprised by this film and watched it a couple times earlier in the year, and then when I saw that it was out on Blu-ray, I picked it up at Best Buy, and then just, thought, hey, I haven't really talked about it, and I had meant to after I bought the Blu-ray, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about it right now for Halloween. I think it's perfect timing. It's still on Shudder, so people can check it out, or they can pick up the Blu-ray release, but I'm really excited to talk about this movie today. The plot of the Mortuary Collection deals with an eccentric mortician who recounts several macabre phantasmagorical tales that he's encountered in his distinguished career. The movie was released on October 15th of 2020. For the cast, you have Jacob Elordi as Jake, you have Emma Horvath as Sandra, Clancy Brown as Montgomery Dark, Caitlin Fisher as Sam. The movie was written and directed by Ryan Spindell. For the filming locations, they used the Flavel House Museum in Astoria, Oregon, which is known for the filming locations for movies like The Goonies, as well as Kindergarten Cop and The Ring 2. And the other thing I wanted to point out about this film is the amazing cinematography. I love the look of the mortuary. Again, as soon as they show a couple of sort of establishing shots of the film as it opens, I knew right away that it was Astoria, Oregon, a place that I've always wanted to visit, and just, a place that, I've seen in films like I mentioned, Kindergarten Cop, The Ring 2, and especially The Goonies. But it just looks amazing. The movie looks very gothic, and cinematographers for the film are Caleb Heyman and Ellie Smolkin. They both do a fantastic job, and like I said, everything looks fantastic. It has a very dark and brooding gothic look to it, and that's what drew me into it right away. And you have 4 stories in this film. So you have one that deals with this woman. It's kind of it's one of the shorter stories of the 4. You have this woman that's kind of stealing people's money at a party, and she happens to go into this bathroom, and something macabre is waiting for her. The next story deals with this young man who was once, when he was younger, kind of the ugly duckling, and now he's become a really, popular, handsome guy, and he ends up taking advantage of this girl and tricking her into having unprotected sex, and the results prove to be very shocking. The third tale deals with a husband and his dying wife. The husband is growing frustrated with having to take care of her, and decides to poison her based on his doctor's suggestion. And then the final one is dealing with I think it's a short movie that this director did, and he sprinkled elements of that into this final story. Now, I haven't seen that, but it's called The Babysitter Murders. It's kind of a really interesting, twisted way that the tale was executed. I really thought the cast in this was fantastic. Clancy Brown is great in everything that I've seen him in, and I loved him as Montgomery Dark. Again, the makeup was awesome. In fact, I heard that Clancy Brown kept the teeth that he wore in the film. That was a little trivia that I saw. But he's fantastic, again, as the storyteller for this film. But I also really liked Jacob Elordi, who I've seen. He's on the show Euphoria. I've seen him in a couple of other things, too, but he was really good in this one. He plays that kind of that fraternity guy in the second story, and I really liked the way that he played the part. Very different from what I've seen him in other things, so I really just liked the range that he brought to that character. And I really like Caitlin Fisher as well, playing the character of Sam, who shows up at the mortuary asking about a job, and end up getting sort of sucked into these stories that Montgomery Dark is telling her. And the special effects in this are fantastic. Again, I think this was shot for a pretty low budget, but for a low budget film, it looks amazing. It looks like something that you would see in the movie theaters. And I don't know if this was originally supposed to be released in theaters, because again, from everything I saw, it came out last October, but I didn't become aware of it until earlier this year when I started seeing little advertisements for it, and I just saw that Clancy Brown was in it, and I wanted to check it out. But I think this movie is fantastic, and I think if you have a Shudder subscription, you owe it to yourself to watch this. It might not blow people away, but it's kind of it's the films that I kind of like right now. I like, it's not overly gory. It's more creepy and spooky. And like I said, the cinematography is fantastic. The directing is amazing. I love the look of the mortuary. I love the town that it's shot in. They did also shoot at the Heritage Square Museum in Los Angeles, but I think primarily, the exteriors of the film, it was all shot in Oregon. And I just love that. It just brings you right in, and you just love the locales, the setting. I think the stories are all fantastic. My favorite one is the second one, dealing with the fraternity and the guy having the the unprotected sex with the co-ed, and things kind of turning on him, so to speak. And the last story is really interesting as well, about the Babysitter Murders. So those are probably my two favorite of the four. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic movie. If you want to check something out different this Halloween season, if you like kind of, those anthologies like Trick or Treat or Creep Show, easily I would give the Mortuary Collection 5 skulls. Yeah, not a weak element in this film. I actually just really enjoy watching it. I'm glad that I own it. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it again. So if anyone else has seen the Mortuary Collection, let me know what you guys thought of it down in the comment section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And as always, thanks so much for dropping by the Horror Zone. I hope everyone's doing well. I promise I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always.